The hardest thing for me to get over or to adjust to right now is the fact that I left my family behind. I have 3 girls, and that's rough.
You get homesick.
I don't get homesick. I miss.
You wish they were here?
I wish, yeah.
What about you? You miss your kids?
It's the same. I have 2 little boys. One is 2 years old and the other is 3. And the day I left, my baby was coming down with measles. So it really took something to leave. But now he's over it, and I really don't worry too much about them. I know they're taken care of, so.
Left her there. She was just crying and said, "Mama, don't leave." And when I talk to her on the phone now, I wish that I could, just go home or, go right to the telephone and just see her for a little while. Every time I talk to her on the phone, she, says, "Mom, are you dumb yet?" And why don't you hurry up and get smart and come home? And well, I just got married in December too, and it's just kind of hard on my husband. He doesn't like me being in law enforcement, but he knew I wanted to be in law enforcement before, and it's just one of those things that he's got to understand. And the other most difficult thing for me while I've been here is, waking up in the morning.
That's my problem too.
Oh, that is bad. But between those two, I just wish it, that the main thing I am going to graduate here. There might be a lot of stress and tension, but I am going to graduate.
They'll have to kick us out now.
Really? They're going to have to kick us out to make us leave.
These 4 young women are unique in that they are training to be law enforcement officers at the United States Indian Law Enforcement Training Services. They are 4 in a group of 60 men. In the course of their exhaustive 10 weeks of training, they will be tested physically, emotionally, and academically. At the end of their training, less than half of the cadets will graduate.
I'll be going to sleep at 8 or so and getting enough sleep so I can get up at 5 in the morning. And here, it's been 3 weeks already, and I don't think I've ever gone to sleep before 10 or 11.
Right.
Left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left. Voted, voted, have you heard? Voted, voted, have you heard? I'm gonna buy me a mockingbird. I'm gonna buy me a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, yes, sir. He's got a gun. Pick it up, pick it up.
Guys on the force that have weapons and stuff, and well, there's this one guy back home. I'm not gonna say who it is because it might incriminate me when I get back and get fired, but he is against women cops.
Cadet Christine Stopps is from Crow Agency, Montana.
He doesn't believe that they can do anything in that field. But I plan on proving him wrong. There has been a couple of women before me that have been police officers, but they've only worked a few months and quit. And maybe that's the reason why he doesn't think that women should be police officers. They have worked only for a few months, and then they've never came to the academy. And I hope I can change his mind when I get back.
But law enforcement, you know, it's not an easy job, not even for our male counterparts. But I feel that women have a very specific role in law enforcement, and I think it's time that they started doing something about it.
There anyway, but mentally he overcomes the need.
Cadet Sandy Securis has been working for the Papago tribe as a criminal investigator.
We find a lot of
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3.
It's very challenging. It's there's some very, you know, strong adjustment periods that you have to make. For instance, there's one where you have to leave your family behind. You have to make adjustments for your family. Getting here maybe so many miles away from home is a, you know, one adjustment point. And then getting used to the hours, the classroom hours, the physical training. You have to almost set up a whole new lifestyle for yourself. But you know, for law enforcement, I feel that there has to be some type of really strenuous training that you have to take before you really decide whether you want to stay in law enforcement or not.
You're really cut out for it,
whether you're right for the job.
Because it's not something that you can just, you know, walk into and say, well, you know, it's a job, I get paid for it. I remember when I first started working, it was an adjustment period also, just, you know, going to crime scenes, accidents, mutilated bodies, child abuse cases, and plus you also have to be physically conditioned to take care of yourself. We're not going to have male partners around, you know, in our police cars all the time, and I think we're just as capable as the male.
I know I'm not really here. I never thought of myself as being a law enforcement type person till last summer. I just like working in the campgrounds. One day all of a sudden they told me, well, you have to go out and tell these people that they're doing something wrong. And I got so kind of shook up. I didn't know how to approach them or what to say to them.
Cadet Diane Araguchi is a National Park Service employee from El Paso, Texas.
And I went out and I did it, and I found myself, I got just a little bit of confidence in myself. I said, well, maybe I can do it. And I went out a couple more times, and I finally gave out a few violations, and I started to like it a little bit. I still don't get into it that much. What I'm here for basically is I like the backcountry ranger, and that requires some law enforcement. And so to me, coming here, I more or less came on my own to try and get this training behind me should there ever be a park, you know, backcountry ranger job coming up, then I'll be ready for it. But for most part, I think I came because as a goal, just to see if I could conquer it and see if I could put up with the military type deal and the hard physical training.
time I couldn't even run 50 yards without, just really, now I can run 1.5 miles and
breathe harder.
I still make it though.
What about you?
I surprised myself. I didn't think I could run that far, but it does. It's you're supposed to go a mile. Maybe you go a mile and that extra inch, that extra yard, you make that extra yard, and it may be not much to somebody else, but to you, it's great, and
really
it shows improvement.
Something.
And the guys have been really great. They encourage us, and they say, you can make it, you can make it. And
there's a lot to deal with in that.
It is.
In that there's some guys that are in real good physical condition, like just right out of high school, and they can run, not get tired, and it kind of makes you feel, well, I'm staying behind, but actually everybody else encourages you and makes you stay in the group, and it makes you feel good. We got a pretty nice group that we work with, and nobody shuts anybody out.
Like, for instance, this evening, I didn't think I was going to make that hill, and one of the guys says, come on, Christine, you can do it. And then we'd run about 30 more steps, and I look at that hill, and it's, I'm not going to get to the top. And then he'd say, you can do it. So I'd look at him, well, if he's that old and he's running, I guess I'll run to it. So I'd be running, and then he'd quit, and I'd do the same thing to him, and we made it to the top. I was shocked.
Cadet Marilyn Harney has been a tribal police officer for 2 years at Duck Valley Reservation in Owyhee, Nevada.
The other day, one of the sergeants had gone to Montana, South Dakota for training, and it was Sunday evening. I happened to be signing out, and he asked me, he says, have you passed all your tests? I says, I must have. I says, I'm still here. And he says, you mean your girls aren't gone yet? And I guess he expected us to be gone by the time he got back. There's been 17 males gone and just 1 female, so
we're doing something
we're
right.
Hanging in there something, but they've been really good.
A lot of people back home, when they found out how many women were here compared to the men, like there was supposed to be like 6 women and 60-some men. Everybody thinks, well, everybody's going to be after you and all this, but it's not like that. It's just everybody's friendly, and it's a nice atmosphere.
The short period that I've been in law enforcement, I really enjoy being feminine. It's really something you appreciate, and you don't lose your femininity, but it's you wear certain types of clothing day to day, and it feels good to wear a dress,
once in a while.
Is the way some people will come up, and it's like in summer, you're in contact with millions of visitors, and one thing I just don't like to be called is a rangerette. They're rangers, and I would say, hey, rangerette, that I do not like. I like to be called just a plain old ranger.
I don't want to give anybody the impression that I'm a hardcore woman's libber, but because I'm not. Like she said, she likes being married, and I like being a mother, and
like doing dishes, cooking.
Bite your tongue. I don't like doing dishes. Anything but dishes. I couldn't get over that. When I first got here, and I had the kitchen detail, you know. And I said, my God, if I wanted to do the, you know, kitchen detail, I would have stayed home and done it. But I'm glad you got it now.
Everything that we've taken so far, I'm sure is going to be very helpful sometime at one point or another.
It's kind of like all the missing puzzles in the jigsaw. You know, everything's going to fit in one time in our lives. But when I get back to the reservation after graduating from this academy, I plan and I hope to get on the police department, because that's one thing I really want to do, is get on the police department.
Riding great ones. Class 33. Class 33. Indian. Indian. Police. Police. Academy. Academy. Indian. Indian. Police. Police. Academy. Academy. 1, 2, 3.
Can we sum up professional women like these? Perhaps it is best to use the idea expressed by Cadet Stops when she talked about all of her experiences at the Academy being like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. These profiled cadets and their male counterparts interlocked experiences and education as they made a commitment to building a cohesive future for themselves in the larger picture of law enforcement. As they walk across the stage to accept that coveted diploma, the puzzle pieces are complete, and another Police Academy class meets the challenge of the future.